Hey, you listening, right? I want you to know you're safe with me. I got you. You're protected. And what was she? She was on the other side of that wall. She was eating it up. What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Stacy Liz, with Baggage at the Door. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Stacy, and I create content around healing and growth and just being a better you in general. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. In today's episode, we are going to talk about 10 reasons, 5 plus 5, why Ashley stayed with Tyler. First of all, did you guys think she was going to say yes? Think back to the episodes actually at the altar. Did you think she was going to say yes? I knew she was going to say yes. Why? Because, of course, like everybody else, I went to her Instagram before the episode aired to try to get clues. And people were in those comments already telling her, you better not marry him. I hope you did not marry that man. And the moment I knew she had said yes was when she was responding back to people and getting spicy with them. Because in my head, you would not get spicy back with a stranger if you did not say yes to that man. So I knew that she had said yes. Did you know? I want to know. Put it in the comments. Let's get into it, y'all. I want you to listen to this clip, okay? For reason number one.
A lack of interest. I've always been the person that wanted to get married, especially because my mom and dad got divorced when I was 6. And then, she remarried after that, and that one didn't work as well. I just remember looking at her when I was younger and being like, don't worry, mommy. One day we're going to have a daddy like the guys in the movies. I will be the one to get married and to stay married.
Boom. Reason number one, she'd always dreamed of being married. Since she was a little girl, she dreamed of the white dress. She dreamed of the wedding colors and the flowers. I'm exaggerating, but really and truly, that's kind of what she put out there. She said that a few times, right? So she always wanted it. It was her dream to be married. So, boom, what did she do? She got married, right? So, of course, she stayed in the marriage. This is what she's wanted since she was a little girl. So, if I have what I wanted to be married, why would I leave so easily? And then we also, in that same clip, we hear number two. She didn't want to let her mom down. She put a lot of pressure on herself, even as a child, telling her mom, don't worry, mom, we're going to experience a man like in the movies, right? That's a lot of pressure. But for her to say that as a child lets you know that she wasn't doing childlike things as a child. By that point, she had already endured some things as a child, right? She tells us in an interview she did that she had always been called wise. You're such a wise child, right? You don't get the label wise without going through some things, right? So her dad got sent away. He was locked up, and also her mother went through 2 divorces. So number two is she didn't want to let her mom down. She wanted to be, you heard her, she wanted to be the first person in her family to get married and stay married. She sees that as a badge. She sees that as a cycle that she wanted to break in her own family. And that's great that she, aspired to do that. However, if we aspire to do something so badly, sometimes we can block out all of the negativity surrounding that decision. But because we want it so bad, we're going to stay. Because I have to do this. I have to be the one to make a difference in my family. I can't let my mom down. My mom has already been divorced twice. Now I'm going to get divorced. This is a pattern. I'm smarter than my mom. Come on, I know. A lot of us grow up and we think we'll never be like our parents. We think we're so much smarter than them because we have our little degrees. But man, we get older and find ourselves in similar situations. We get older and we start saying things they used to say, doing things. Y'all know how it is. So here she is, repeating the same cycle that her mother went through. And I'm sure that ate her up inside because I'm supposed to be better than this. I have more wisdom than my mother. But here she is going through the divorce. And so, knowing all of that, I'm sure she stayed a little longer. She stayed a little longer to avoid that, but she just couldn't anymore. Let's look at reason number 3. This is obvious. And I make these videos and in no way do I want to pick on anyone that I have a video about, but I do think we can learn through other people's situations. And the truth is, this is about Ashley, but if we're real with ourselves, a lot of these things we've done it too. We've done it too. So pay attention to see if maybe you can relate. Number 3, she stayed with Tyler because he's easy on the eye. They were a good looking couple. She's beautiful. He's handsome. She found him attractive. So, absolutely, that would make somebody stay in a relationship longer than they should. That will make somebody deal with a couple more issues. He fine, so I guess he can get away with that. He's cute. I'm really, but he's so fine. Y'all, come on now. He's so fine though. He's so cute though. Yeah. A lot of our common sense goes out the window because that man is fine. And men, you too. She bad, man. She bad. She bad, man. Yeah. So you stay a little longer because they're easy on the eye. You do me a favor and hit the like button right now and subscribe to my channel so that my little channel can grow and reach a bigger audience. Number 4, he played on her heartstrings, y'all. He played every song she wanted to hear. In fact, he literally did that, and figuratively, because remember when they had the date in the pods and they were listening to music and they were listening to each other's playlists. I'm sure he strategically put some songs in there because she was like, "That's my song. That's my song." But what I mean by that really is that Ashley, it was apparent that she was longing for safety.
They both are telling me that I'm safe with you. Loving someone and being vulnerable is risky and not something I do lightly. But the way you make me feel would make little Ashley, who used to dream about true love, so proud.
She was longing to be covered by a man, right? You got to think about the absence of her father, 2 divorces, from her mom. Y'all know how that changes a family dynamic. Okay, you're in our lives, you're out of our lives. Okay, we have to deal with our new normal. Then someone else comes to the picture. Okay, you're in our lives and here you are, you're out of our lives again. So she longs for safety. And when I say Tyler knew that and used that for his benefit, I believe I believe he preyed on her when it comes to that, right? So, one example would be when he was praying, pray, when he was praying over her, right? And I'm in no place to judge anybody's authenticity when it comes to prayer. That's between you and God. I have nothing to do with that. But what I will point out is her reaction to the prayer. When Tyler said, "I'm going to pray for us," Ashley lit up. She lit up. She was like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Really? You're going to pray? That was so sweet. It brought her to tears. That was so sweet. You're praying. Oh my gosh, Tyler. Thank you. Right? So she was moved by that because it's powerful when a man, Prays, when he prays over you, it is powerful and it will move you. It will move you because there's a whole nother level of, unlocked when you have that spiritual bond, right? But let's be aware, not everybody has pure intentions when they start praying, for you and over you. Some people are using that because they know you like it and they know it's going to move you, right? So I'm not judging whether or not that was his intentions, but I will say, even beyond him praying for her, um, he used that safe word so much with her, right? He wanted her to know, you're safe with me. I remember in one episode, he literally was like, hey, you listening, right? I want you to know you're safe with me. I got you. You're protected. And what was she? She was on the other side of that wall. She was eating it up. She was eating the words up. Baby, you got to see that in actions, okay? She had that need for safety. That's why she stayed. And I feel like, because she also said that there's something about you that calms me.
You make me feel so centered, and you have a calming energy that I crave throughout my entire day. I truly feel honored to have the opportunity to be loved by someone like you.
Right? But then when they got into real life, there was no more calm. Those lies started coming out. So calm was out the window. But even though the lies started entering and the confusion started entering, she had already gotten hooked. She'd already gotten hooked on the beginning, the feelings in the beginning, and her idea of him. Her idea was that he calmed her, he covered her, he made her feel safe. But the reality was, when things really got real, it was the complete opposite. He introduced so much chaos into her life. He switched the calm for chaos. Meanwhile, she stayed because she was hoping the calm would come back.
None of us know what tomorrow's going to bring. I just know I never want to lose the way I feel today.
She was hoping the calm would come back. And instead of calm, she got more chaos. But she stayed because somewhere deep down, I will get what I experienced in the beginning. If I stay, I will feel the love, what I felt in the beginning. The problem with that is, in the beginning, he wasn't being himself. He was selling you dreams in the beginning. Number 5, she stayed because the chaos felt familiar to her. We heard Ashley basically admit that as a child she carried a lot of her mother's wounds. A lot of her mom's emotions fell onto her, right? And so she wanted to save her mother. It's okay, mom. It's okay, mom. Don't worry. We're going to get that man. We're going to experience that man, right? And so, because of all of that childhood trauma around her mom and the absence of her father, she learned to put on her own cape. She put on a cape so that she herself could cope, and she put on a cape to save her mother. And so, when she gets in a relationship with a man who allegedly, the internet said he didn't have anywhere to stay, and Obviously, he had all of this baggage. She knows how to put on a cape. She's no stranger to drying people's tears and having their back and being there for them and being the one that can protect you and make it all right.
From this point, you never have to wonder or feel like you are undeserving of love. I'll be here to remind you that you are.
So this was familiar for her. That's why she stayed. You guys know that subconsciously we find our way back to what's familiar, even if it's not good for us. If we have not healed from there, we're going to find ourselves there in the future again. And there she was, right back with someone who was needy and who someone who caused her to have to wear that cape again. So she stayed because it was unfortunately familiar. Okay, let me find this clip, this audio clip for number 6.
To be within our marriage, and some of y'all haven't been married, and it shows because you don't. Yes, I owe you. In their words, I owe you explanations for things, but the cameras are off, right? This is my real life. We owe you something to a certain extent, but we don't owe you anything past that. And there are things that will be dealt with within my marriage. But if you think for one second that I'm going to leave my marriage because you're going to bully me into doing it, no. And so it's like, I don't know. I think that everyone, has
She said, y'all were not going to bully her up out of her marriage. That's why she stayed. Number 6 is she stayed because it became it's me and you against the world. The world wants to see us fail and we are going to prove them wrong. She said, get up out of her business. She doesn't owe y'all anything. Okay. It's us against the world. And this happens a lot when you have so much so much force against your relationship. A lot of times instead of taking heed to why does everyone have this same opinion, you do the opposite and say, you know what, forget them, you and I, we're going to lock in. And it no longer becomes it's no longer even about the love and the relationship. It's more so about proving everybody wrong. So that's why she stayed. She stayed to prove y'all wrong. She stayed because it was her and Tyler against the world. I think I have one more clip
cocky and
of
not because
not that one.
I didn't know how
this
to
one right
compromise
here.
in relationships, but the outside. How are we handling the outside judgment about Tyler's past? We are blocking people. I have added blocking to my resume. I met a very close friend. Her and her wife wanted to have a baby, and they couldn't afford a sperm donor. I thought that was God telling me, help someone else, and it felt good. I'm just disappointed in you. I learned to compromise. At first, I didn't know how to compromise in relationships, but the outside judgment, we're handling it through each other. We're leaning on each other. We're talking to each other, and we are here for each other. We just want to make sure that any outside noise doesn't affect us long term, although it is annoying. Turning off comments if we have to, and remembering why we fell in love.
She said, y'all are annoying. She said, y'all are annoying. The outside noise is annoying. Block, 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 block. Y'all are blocked and y'all are annoying. And I'm not listening to you. I'm not listening to you. It's me and my man against y'all. Leave us alone. She stayed because y'all are annoying. She stayed because she didn't want to be embarrassed, y'all. She didn't want to be embarrassed. She really wanted it to work. She really hoped that it would work. But it got to a point where the outside noise started to actually make sense, right? But ultimately, that mindset of forget them, we're blocking all of that out, that would obviously work to Tyler's benefit, right? Because if the world is talking negative about Tyler, of course he's gonna say, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's me and you, baby. Forget them. They just hate it. Matter of fact, didn't he said that, y'all? Didn't he say that on the episode? He said something to the effect of um people are gonna come out the woodworks now and hate on us or something. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. It was like, and when he said that, we were like, why would people? That's strange. He already knew. He already knew that him and her needed to be locked in so that none of these other women could tell their truth and she would ignore all the receipts. They needed to be locked in. Um, Number 7, this is just straight up. She felt sorry for him. It got to the point where she was like, yeah, I can't, I don't want to do this anymore. But what about him? Where's he going to live? He doesn't have any money, allegedly. How is he going to make it? Will he be okay? Right? I know that it was just put out that his attorney his attorney for the his lawyer for his child support case dropped him um because Tyler didn't pay him, right? And that's a pretty important case, right? It's involving his children, right? But he didn't pay his lawyer. So and there's a lot of other evidence that shows that he owes a lot of people money. So if I break up with you, if I separate from you, if I divorce you, where are you going to go? Where are you going to sleep? You don't have anyone. She knew that he did not have a proper address, not, someone's couch, because allegedly we've all heard the stories. That's where he been sleeping. Like what do they call him? A hobo? That's mean. I try not to be mean. But y'all know the stories. So I'm sure she thought, man, if I leave this man, he has nothing. I am his help right now. So what kind of person would I be knowing he has nothing and no one? What kind of person would I be if I left him? I'm going to stay a little longer. I'm sure that went through her head, feeling bad for him. And then number 8 is straight up, she felt obligated and responsible to him. Did you notice in that previous clip where she said, "You're so worthy of love." Right? You're so worthy of love. You're No one deserves love more than you, right? I feel like because Ashley experienced so much abandonment as a child, a lot of times when you've experienced that level of abandonment, you become this uberly loyal person. You become this ride or die person. Why? Because you know what it feels like to be abandoned. And you want to protect everyone else from feeling what you felt. So you couldn't save yourself from abandonment. So subconsciously, you aim to save everyone else from abandonment. And you put your needs, your wants, your desires behind everyone else's. And I feel like that's what she did for Tyler. She felt responsible, almost obligated to protect him. because no one ever protected her. Remember, no one ever made her feel safe. So how dare she snatch the rug from up under him? She knows what that felt like. And so I'm sure that was a difficult decision for her to leave him, to, in a lot of ways, abandon him. And I wouldn't be surprised if he played on that emotionally, because this is a really sensitive area, but there were some texts leaked. If you want to see that, you can go to Jessie Woo's old video. She has some texts that talk about some very deep things that Tyler was going through, that he hinted that he could possibly do some things as a result of that, right? So that is a heavy emotional burden to carry. And I'm sure she didn't take that lightly. Actually longed to be protected and safe as a child. And so she's that ride or die. She wanted to be the ride or die. That's why she stayed. She wanted to be that ride or die. Number 9, let's be real. She thought about her age. At the time of this show, Ashley was 31. So that puts her at what, about around 33 years old now? She thought about her age, y'all. And I'm sure a lot of women, and maybe some men too, can relate. She stayed with Tyler as long as she did because she knew that she was in her 30s and she was getting closer and closer to 35. You know, when you hit 35, it's automatically a geriatric pregnancy. Okay? She knew her clock was ticking. She stayed because she calculated the time that she would have to go through a divorce, heal, start dating, find another man, get remarried all over again. That sounds like it could be a long time. And so I'm sure in her head, she tried to stick around because, man, I should probably just stay where I'm at because I'm getting up there in age. It's going to take a long time for me to find another husband. I don't even feel like dating again. I'm not even interested in love again because I'm so broken, but I want to be a mom. I want to be married. So I should just stay here. Maybe things will get better. Maybe things will get better cuz and then I'm going to be divorced, and I don't know if men will want to date me knowing that I've been through a divorce. I mean, I'm cute and everything, but it's just going to take a long time. And I think I should just stay where I'm at because the grass isn't always greener. So let me just take my piece of grass and stay with it. I know a lot of us can relate. Come on, can we be real? Can we be real? She stayed because of her age, and she wasn't sure that she could get something better in a timely manner. That clock is ticking. That clock is ticking. Number 10. Can you guess it? Can you guess? Can you guess? I'll give you a hint. In the pods, she talked about how much prayer has brought her through. Number 10, she stayed because she took a vow before God and she meant it. She meant it. When she said, I do, she meant it. She wanted to honor her vows. She wanted to so badly. She talks about praying and prayer and how much, she loves God. But this was too heavy for her. And I could make a whole nother video on religion and marriage and divorce It deserves a whole video by itself. But number 10 is she took a vow before God and she wanted to keep that vow because she did not take it lightly. She had no intentions of breaking those vows. She didn't think she would end up in a divorce when she said I do. I'll say this. Ashley was raised by a single mom, and in a lot of ways she beat the odds, right? She is successful. She has an amazing career. She has a brother who has a PhD, right? So she has overcome a lot. And as she mentioned, she'd always been called wise her entire life. However, just because you're wise does not mean that you always make good decisions. No matter how smart you are, no matter how many books you've read or how many degrees you've earned, right? No matter how many neighborhoods you've made it out of, the thing is, childhood trauma wounds do not go away just because you hit six figures. Just because you purchase a house and a fancy car, you get a fancy title at work, that does not erase your childhood wounds and your childhood trauma. At that point, you're just someone with a fancy title, a nice house, and a nice car who needs to heal. I want to make the point that even the brightest of people make some decisions that show that there's still some areas that we need to heal because we all have our baggage. We all have our baggage. I pray healing for Ashley and I pray healing for Tyler. I hope that they can both learn and grow and find their way back to joy and peace. I hope you enjoyed this video. Could you do me a favor and like the video and subscribe to my channel if you like what you heard? I will be doing more videos like this. This is what I do. I love to talk about leaving my baggage at the door and how we all can heal. Other than that, this is your girl Stacy Liz with Baggage at the Door. I'll see you in the next episode.